Discover the hidden gem of West Africa, a country called Sierra Leone. Sierra Leone beaches, nature, untapped adventure. Dive into our rich culture. Taste local flavors. Feel the warmth. Join the journey. Discover Sierra Leone on Liberty Tourism Waka. Only on Liberty Online TV. Every Wednesday, 8 p.m. on all Liberty Online TV platforms.
From the heart of Freetown, we dey inside Lunge today. Now, so I welcome you to another episode of the Liberty Tourism Waka, where they come to you live na Liberty Online TV. Now, all the platform them outside on the get to. Me where they bring this episode of the Liberty Tourism Waka to you. Now, Mabel Kabade say good evening and welcome to Lunge. Today we can Lunge. If you not been member inside the last episode of the Liberty Tourism Waka, we've been there at the Peace Museum. Also, we bring to una all the information we una need for know about waiting then they do na the Sierra Leone Peace Museum. Well, because of that, today we decide to we come out Freetown and come inside Lunge. And also you go to ask yourself, how do you come out Freetown, go all the way Lunge, waiting then go do they? Well, we can't Lunge today for let you can know about the Center for Memory and Reparation. If you not be member, where we been there na the Salon Peace Museum they talk, we been reach one side waiting then be there where them be talk say na this center ya so na them property them. Well, now that make we can ya today for let we can know waiting the Center for Memory and Reparation therefore where the civil war been there na the country 1991 to 2002. Plenty people in there where the war be affect. Me and you the war affects we, but people in there where the war affects pass me and you. Well, this center, now for let we remember all the bad things them we been happening at the country, the time where the war been there. And also, the reparation part of them, now for let them ensure say, then talk for the one the way the war be affect bad one, for let them go get justice. Well, let them make with here today. Like I can read from what they see, also at the right now at the center, it say, the war done. January 18, 2023, nine them build this. When that day, President Biyo can open them. And it said in memory of our brothers and sisters who were killed during the 11 years civil war in Sierra Leone, 1991 to 2002. May we never again resort to violence to settle our differences. And then said this one also now President Biyo opened this center. Well, we want to know waiting the center they for. Waiting and they do. And somebody there where now in there behind this whole idea for let we get this particular center. And they can welcome them for let it can tell we waiting this center yeah so they but if you don't follow the social media, you're gonna say somebody there when a salon man we named Joseph Kaifala. Now the person where I don't say oh, from 2012, let me begin here about projects where they work on this. Say we can reach a whole center where the country don't get now. And they call Joseph, like he can tell we, the idea behind getting this kind of center, waiting and they do, and why then decide say, Salon forget this for let we remember the bad thing them what been happen during the war, and also for let we all fight for ensure say, justice day for the one them where the war be affect bad one pass me and you. Joseph, welcome to Liberty TV Tourism Waka. Today we can at the Center for Memory and Reparation.
Thank you. You're welcome.
All right, well, Fambul, now the gentleman is a son of the soil, where decide say, Salon forgets a memory center for let we not forget waiting we all been go through during the Civil War, and also for let we all fight for ensure say the bad thing and not happen again, but we for fight again for justice for the one them where the war be affect bad one. I want you tell Fambulen first, give we a background idea about how this whole project here so begin.
Right. All man knows say after the war we set up an institution what we call the Truth and Reconciliation Commission. The Truth and Reconciliation Commission worked for 2 years, then completes their work in 2004. But they're not be really able to do much work on the aspects of the work were very important when our reparations, especially symbolic reparation. And therefore, I set up this center for memory and reparations for continue the work of the Truth and Reconciliation Commission. Primarily, we've been focused on identifying, mapping, and protecting mass graves and we left around the country after the Civil War. For make sure say we honor the people that we then bury in their grave then they. Secondly, we want to make sure say the next generation of Sierra Leoneans say understand what happened at this country. We kill ourselves for 11 years so that we go able to avoid any kind of violence in the future. So now that make we create the center.
Before we can begin talk about the different things what they see at the center, let me just start first with the flags them. I see different flags them here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Yes.
I see 12 flags. Now whose flags in this?
Now, people that not be there alive during the war, not go know say will not for be able easily end that conflict say if other countries they not be can to we aid. Primarily the ECOWAS country then. Nowadays people then they see say ECOWAS weak, but during the Liberian and Sierra Leonean Civil War, if ECOWAS not been able for be suffer past how we suffer. So the primary flag na the ECOWAS flag for represent the member states of ECOWAS. We can for help we, especially Nigeria during the conflict. Then secondly, Salonde, parts of one other internal organization what they call the Mano River Union. Where something affect we, it affects them. And sometimes where people then they see the Ivorian flag now, they not know why they are. Ivory Coast be don't join the Mano River Union. So in addition to Guinea and Liberia, we now get Ivory Coast. We don't join the Mano River Union. Then the other flag then are the United Nations Security Council, where they in charge of war and peace. So now then flag then they up here and then of course we get the African Union where they are, and then the United Nations flag, because now UNAMSI can help we for end the conflict in this country.
All right, well I tell Fambulen say our let can know waiting they happen at this center. The Waka, now we get them, but again, now you get them. So now they can take we through now, let we know exactly waiting there and waiting make them there. But let me just start us with the small calabash you all. Because at Tinapia, I smell, I don't know if na poyo the inside, but they smell like na poyo me they smell.
Na
I don't know if I'm right.
Poyo no they go na cup, na calabash they drink.
And this is by the hair poyo because I hear the smell.
Na so bad poyo.
All right, so you can take we through now. Let we know waiting there so. Let we
right
start.
now. So this January 18, the HE President Julius Maada Bio don't officially declare as National Remembrance Day. If we don't do one in January 2023, we'll not be able to come. But one part of the agreement we'll make is that on that day, if we provide official plaque for honor the one that we lost at the Civil War. So now the government send this plaque here for puts now. Now BNW, now the tomb of the unknown civilian. Around the world since World War I, people then get the tomb of unknown soldiers. Soldiers then we die in a battlefield where they don't know them. In Europe and America, then they honor them that way there. But yeah, we on work, they deal with civilians and where they inside mass grave and where we don't know. So after we don't protect about 25 of them mass grave, then they will decide say the best way for honor them now for create the tomb of the unknown civilian. Inside that tomb there, the coffin where they get the handprints of small picking in this country, because during the war in 1996 the election slogan had been the future is in your hands. The RUF decides say then get for use that and they for cut people there and then.
Now place where we go Waka go?
Yes.
Okay.
And we decide say will they reclaim that phrase there, because the future of Sierra Leone they indeed in our hands. And therefore symbolically we make the picking them and this country puts their handprints by the coffin where they inside it. Also inside that coffin, the people that were gathered now for the first opening of this site writes the wishes of Sierra Leone. A day inside the bag. Then we take soil Now, one of the mass grave sites, because Salone will not get the tradition for remove human remains. So we take soil from one part, the mass grave sites. But in the tradition of the tomb of the unknown soldier, now only one person know who side and take that soil. And not go ever tell person. Because we don't let them say, oh, you wouldn't forbid, don't take Ayanda or Yanda.
Oh.
This now cenotaph, it represents all the unknown persons in mass graves across the country. You see, say, the cenotaph is surrounded by 16 pillars.
Yeah, because now that's about waiting them.
It represents the 16 districts of this country because this was a civil war that affected every Sierra Leonean one way or another, directly or indirectly. So them pillar then they represent all Sierra Leoneans. Of course, the tomb,
I just be one. At
the end of the Civil War, before me left this country, then the Civil War ended in January 2002, and in August 2002, I left for go study Norway. This now one of the first poems that where I write where the Civil War done. And therefore, at the front of this cenotaph, the representation of who we were before we went into violence and killed one another. And around here, we also get memorial where they also honor the institution and we can support we. Okay. And also a quotation from Abraham Lincoln, where say, we here highly resolve that these dead shall not have died in vain, that this nation under God shall have a new birth of freedom. Because the whole point of remembrance, not to for the one that we don't die.
Yeah.
Now for we the living, how we go move forward together for make sure say waiting happen in this country not happen again. Then of course we they extend honor to the African Union. Where at that time they be the call on the Organization of African Unity. And then here also we get a plaque from the center where say in memory of our brothers and sisters who were killed in our Civil War 1991 to 2002. May we here resolve never to resort to violence to settle our differences.
I see similar thing like what you've been right about
yes,
the front.
because the whole idea is that there will always be conflict in human society. What you would try for do now for prevent conflict where they lead to mass atrocity, to violence. And the philosophy that they would try for portray. Also plaque there where they honor the United Nations and ECOWAS. Okay. I don't know what ECOWAS don't be now, but during the Civil War, if ECOWAS through ECOMOG not be can we forbid on suffer how we pass how we suffer. Now this is the flame of peace. People then can ask me why this memorial de Nalunge. Now because they also don't know say Nalunge at the Civil War end. The Sierra Leonean Civil War, President Ahmad Tijan Kabat declared over on January 18, 2002, Nalungeya. So therefore, on that day, it burned about 3,000 ammunitions, weapons. Okay. And when they burn, it declared that flame day a flame of peace over Salome. So yeah, now the memorial size, we don't create a replica of that flame of peace where we can light on important dates during the Civil War.
So this can come on.
Yes,
really?
They produce flame. So on Remembrance Day, flame go there from the night of the 17th all the way to the 18th. And on that day, now this it talk.
Yeah.
We are happy that those flames of war have been extinguished and that now we are about to watch the flames of peace. January 18, 2002. So if we can move to the other side. Okay. Obaya, I mentioned earlier, say them flag then they represent country that we can help with during the war.
Yes.
So now some of them country then they are under the organization we then call at the time UNAMSIL, when at the United Nations mission in Sierra Leone. So some country then contribute police force now then they are. Some country then contribute military force. Okay. And then they are. So we can use this for teach the school picking the way in Canada because some of them not even sabi their country there. Yeah. And the first time this was here like Kyrgyzstan. And one country they were not there because now then last been there for protect the special court for Sierra Leone when Mongolia. Okay. Where when I go special courts, they wanna see one room where they get their warrior then because the Mongolian they're very proud of their warrior history. So we'll therefore add the name there. But at the end of the Sierra Leonean Civil War, the disarmament, mobilization, and reintegration program disarm about 75,490 combatants.
Okay.
And part of that number, the 6,845 have been child soldiers, and 506 have been girls, 4,651 have been women. And about 55,000 of those received benefits from the United Nations and the government of Sierra Leone. All in all, the United Nations spent about 36.5 million on the disarmament, demobilization, and reintegration program. So now this they represent there. Now over here, so now they see a very peculiar port.
Because this port very familiar to Sierra Leoneans.
Yes.
They tend to walk in Gaujo, now them port here in the dung, but you port they up.
Yes.
Why they up?
And they get 1 foot.
Yes.
Now salon we can say 1 foot pots not they cook for Jama.
Yes.
And therefore this pot here they represent the idea of united we stand, divided we fall. That pot they need in order leg them for able to map them put wood under for cook for.
And the boss was say boss so set.
Yes, and they will boss are no more for them notify. Because there's some mango and go make out jody. But the idea now that this pot here go teach we say unity important for development. The whole point of what you would do now for promote peace and unity. Because the one that we lost by the war, they don't die. We're not able to do nothing but than they again. But we go able to build a better society, so we not go get any kind of thing.
And that was going to be my next question. Say somebody where they watch go they wonder say as salon person, why it important for land know about Center for Memory and Reparation. So man can say, oh, the one they waiting now no know waiting be happen during the war, or then we been dead during the war. Don't they forget some of the things them we been happen to we during that time day. So why it important for let as salon we get this kind of place?
Memorial sites are sites of reflection and remembrance. We dey reflect for let we able to deal with the remnants of the issues that we don't left now with society after the war, particularly the issues that they affect war victims. We all suffer during the war, but we get people that we suffer past some of we. The amputees and war wounded, they still in the society, then they ask for reparation. Remembrance go able make we discuss the issues and do something better. Now we no more go able to do something but anything then they. And for the next generation, the school picking them way they can then they learn but the causes of the civil war. So that when they learn, we they always say that they're the future leaders of the country. Where we prepare them in the history of the country, the good, the bad, then go able no say, then go try and avoid the errors that will lead to that conflict then at their own leadership. So we will transform the country.
Joseph, when you talk about the school picking them, this center open to people and the public, so they go and come can see?
This place here now for the public.
Okay.
And every now and then we can get school and we can organize trip, we can we self can sometimes look for resources and bring schools, and especially for Freetown where it's more difficult for them and maybe a little bit more expensive. So we try for make sure say school picking, especially the next generation of leaders, can decide they then learn. But Sierra Leone, only 30 years after independence, will descend into that violent civil war day. We want to make sure, that the next generation of Sierra Leoneans are able to do what Tijan Kaba say, never again resort to violence to settle matters of political importance.
I see these parts of the center.
Let's walk towards the end there.
Like we they see, I don't know if for shade make all of that day and the trees and stuff we they around.
Hello, go I explain. Everything I get meaning.
Sure.
Nothing the way they out of place. But let's go inside and first.
Well, viewers, you still they watch Liberty Tourism Waka, where they come to you live na Liberty Online TV. Today we there at the Center for Memory and Reparation.
Yeah, now the peacekeeping statistics, now the memorial site, because the peacekeeper themselves we can, even though they can keep peace, themselves be end up for suffer during the conflict. In fact, in 2000, they kidnapped about 500 United Nations peacekeepers, where be almost one derail the peace process. And some of the casualties, so at that time during the conflict, this Salon 9 been get one point the highest deployment of United Nations peacekeepers in the country, about 17,500. And of course, then we end up for lost 260 military observers, 170 police, and then of course the fatalities now 169 troops, 2 observers, international civilians, local civilians, etc. But I can always talk about the force commanders.
Okay.
Because the UN been divided into two layers. The posse will be there in charge of the entire UN, and then the posse will be there in charge of the force commander and under UNAMSIL. The chief of missions then are being, and then they up here. And then, but the most important force commander, we all remember, we all grew up during the conflict, especially in 1999, 2000. Now, Vijay Kumar Jesli. Because Naim be there in charge of UNAMSIL, where for the Sanko almost one restarts the civil war. So you can imagine if they respond to United Nations, if they respond to the individual nations where they kidnap them troop there, if they respond to a young government when in India. So it been there for Yagba a lot. I hope one day write book for tell we waiting go to as force commander in this country. But let can inside because I don't tell when I say the primary work will be they do now for protect mass graves around the country. The Truth and Reconciliation Commission talks say we get more than 100 mass graves around the country. And we don't able for protect about 25 of those mass graves. But one of the things where the commission talk now that behind every mass grave is a tragic story. We don't make sure, say, because Boku Sierra Leoneans they not get for visit some of them sites there, we don't protect them sites there. Offer the community then the opportunity for do traditional burial rites when Asara, because we will be the run for our own life, we'll not be able properly bury our own sites there. But I just want go through some of them grave there for highlight some of the one then we get very interesting information. The largest mass grave in the country based on the number of individuals identified. Now the one where they na HE President Bio in hometown, na Tihun. Then gather in people then buried and kill them, put fire on the barrier. Then gather the remains and bury them now. And then, so now the same grave this. Yeah, now two Kenyan peacekeepers and then kill Naya during the disarmament period where the RUF not be one disarm. They attack them on both sides of the Pampana River and the Amoka Tonobo inside this Wataya and then die there. The Kenyan government be done can now and remove the body and repatriate them to Kenya, but we put memorial plaque there so that we will always remember their service to this nation. Yeah, na the slaughterhouse na Kailao.
Yeah.
And this Naya Sambo Caribbean Day from 1991 to 1999, and they commit a lot of atrocity here. Over here na Telu Bongo. When the Mende people then decide now say them for defend themselves will not be get proper military. Now yeah, Chief Inganoman get a young man them for train them into the Kamajo. I'm possible go tell the rebel them. Where they can right here, then slaughter them all, so then people then bury them there. We don't protect the sites. Now inside this building here, Inganoman been there where he narrowly escaped. Over here na the Savage Pits na Tumbodu na Kono. Okay. Commander Savage will be there and see Kono na diamond mining area. Ain't not be need for dig hole again for to the people there where they be the kill. They be just the dump them inside this diamond crater. We put memorial wall in front of the place so that we will identify they always. And this na Kenima. And then we get this one when 11 members of the same family. Now Bendembu, them being they in the crossfire between rebels and I think some Mansina Ecomog soldiers, and 11 members of the Fauna family were killed and buried by this church in Bendembu. So these are some of the mass graves we protected. We also bring some.
Before you come here, where we be then at just now. You've been talking about them hand mark in this, right?
Right.
The coffin this one are buried under?
Now the coffin this way they inside the tomb of the unknown civilian is covered in the handprint of children because we want to reclaim that phrase. They say the future of this country is in your hands. Because now we no more get for make saloon. Other person, whether they get the best intention for we not go able to make saloon pass we say self-make, and so we don't reclaim that phrase there, and we make sure say young people that understand say this country in develop one and we our responsibility. So this now the palm wine corner when are also a classroom. So when I can come here for teach them picking them, I can bring them down here, they all can sit down I teach them. Then we visitor, then they come, now we can end. So that they can sit down around. If they don't pay for meal, now then they eat. Because again, you don't already feel how the temperature different down here. And because now the only conserved forest is now most of Lungage, all the wildlife don't move now. So the bird then go to sing for you, squirrel and they pass now. Sometimes even the animal will not like very much when I snake pass one say. Water there, as you can see. As you can see, people then they pass, then they can't get water. This water can they up to March, and every year they clean the pond so that when the season come, the water can flow up again.
Wow, this is good. I want to say we not regret to come out all the way Freetown for Kanalunge today for can see the Center for Memory and Reparation. I just want to wrap up now for let you tell the viewers them in terms of the reparation. Waiting and waiting I don't do so far for ensure say the one then way the will be affect bad one gets the justice where they deserve.
People then can always ask me why I so adamant for let the government declare official Remembrance Day. If it's in a holiday at the push for. What's a holiday?
They say Saloma like holiday.
Yes. The idea for a National Remembrance Day, now for that we get one day where we go pause and deal with the remaining issues of that conflict. Where we civil war end, we'll not go through trauma healing, we'll not go through counseling, then tell we say we forgive and forget. So people then move on. Now we get amputees, war wounded, and other war victims where they still suffer among we. If you walk at downtown Freetown no more for a few minutes, you go meet up an amputee where they beg. We need for take care of them people then they. So I be one let we get this Remembrance Day so that we go tackle the issue as Sierra Leoneans, not to me one no more for the past and talk about remembrance and reparation. So now that make a push for this day so that we will deal with the very serious issue then we don't left now we continue.
And the 18th of January just there around the corner. So as person behind that idea day, how you the wish Sierra Leoneans them go use January 18th?
Yes, are very crafty. You know, when HEB they do that proclamation there, I realize that now this country, if everybody is in charge, nobody is in charge. So I suggest say let HEB particularly point out the Peace Commission and the Ministry of Civic Education for lead we annual commemoration and remembrance program. So right now, the Peace Commission and the Ministry of Civic Idea, they put together remembrance and commemoration activities where they start from January 14, go all the way to January 21. But yourself will forget small remembrance ceremony we get for take place in the morning. But me don't always promote Remembrance Day as a community service day. I be always encourage Sierra Leoneans and for take 60 minutes of their day for do a community service of their choice. Because the whole point of peace building is making sure that communities live together in harmony. So now that make me the focus on community service. I can bring school picking together and then can take some minutes of their day where they do community service together. In terms of reparation, they also build a bigger Civil War museum down the road. Because I want a space where we go tell the full story of the Sierra Leone Civil War and its transitional justice mechanism. So March 23rd, where you come back, Naya, you go come to a first-class museum telling the history of Sierra Leone Civil War and its transitional justice mechanism.
All right, well, viewers, now here this edition of the Liberty Tourism Waka go left owner. I want to say plenty thank you to you we watch, and also I hope so you not just watch, but you don't learn a lot. Myself come, I don't learn a lot. I don't see different in them when I'm a first time for see them and know about them. We mean say it important when we bring come the cameras and here. So you say for the watch whether you dey Salone or you dey out of the country, you go know more about the history of Salone War. So you go know where somebody ask you something, you go work in any country. Most times so we can travel and can ask some man just know about the blood diamond but Salone. No then kind details here where we don't can get. Now that make we can go na then kind sites here for bring the information to you. So that you say for the watch go learn and know about your Salone history. Many thanks to Joseph Kaifala, we don't can take we through this particular center where you don't make make they don't create for ensure so we continue for member waiting be happen during the war and also stand for justice for let anything not happen again. I want to say many thanks to the production crew we make this particular episode of the Liberty Tourism Waka meet you. Until we meet again for another episode, Mina Mebel Kabade say get a good evening and goodbye.
Discover the hidden gem of West Africa, a country called Sierra Leone. Sierra Leone beaches, nature, untapped adventure. Dive into our rich culture. Taste local flavors. Feel the warmth. Join the journey. Discover Sierra Leone on Liberty Tourism Waka. Only on Liberty Online TV. Every Wednesday, 8 p.m. on all Liberty Online TV platforms.